Right then, hello Wycombe Comic Con. Is everyone having a good time so far? See, we've only been here an hour and everyone's already happy. Right, so this is the Cosplay 101 talk, as well as combining that with the Creating Your Own Cosplay talk. I'm Drewett Cosplay. I obviously cosplay, but I'm also the runner of Just Becos. We are the group that are running the cosplay zone for today, which is awesome. So I'm just going to go around, everyone's going to introduce themselves and who they are and what they sort of do. So over to you.
Hi, my name is Khloe Khaos. I'm also a cosplayer. I've been cosplaying for 6 years, I think. And I laugh as well, which is my hard gear because all my costumes have fallen apart. I don't know, that's about it really. I mainly work with foam, warbler and sewing, sort of.
I'm AkemiYume Cosplay. I've been cosplaying for about 2 years. I do quite a bit of sewing. I dabble with altering or pre-made clothing to make things a lot easier, and still cosplaying Charlie for Supernatural. That's really comfortable and easy to wear. I do a bit of warbler work, but that's it for now.
On top of cosplaying, which I totally forgot to mention, I also write articles about cosplay. I also create cosplay music videos using unsigned band material. I've done 2 so far, with another 1 coming up in the next couple of weeks or so, so that's going to be very interesting. So I'm just going to ask, just to kick this off, I want everyone to just discuss, how did you get into cosplay? Who would like to go first?
I just saw things and I wanted to make them, and I had inspiration from other cosplayers like Just Becos, so I started making things.
So I used to be a huge anime fan, and basically like I didn't know anyone else liked anime or manga, and I kept seeing people like dressed up as the characters. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. So I did it for Halloween, right? And I bought like a crappy top from Primark and made like this really cool skirt. I was like 14 at the time. And I was really happy with it, and then like I found out one of my friends loves anime as well, and she basically told me about MCM, and I went there in a cosplay that my mum made me, and it was beautiful, and I still have it now. It was Vampire Night. And then basically I was like, oh, I can make stuff, I'll get into it. So I made this huge scythe, and I was like, yeah, I'm totally good at this. And then it just sort of became an addiction from there, and now it's a problem.
I approve of the Vampire Night, obviously. I got into it, oh god, this would have been about 3.5 years ago. A good friend of mine decided to have a cosplay birthday. I was living in High Wycombe, funnily enough, at the time. I'd only just moved to the area, and basically what happened was we decided to go up to Warwick Castle all in Doctor Who cosplay, which is how I got into it. And that was just inspired by the fact I wore his then girlfriend's costume. And I was just kind of inspired by how people would enjoy themselves and how people would just make each other happy just by, and other people. Like there were lots of tourists who got very confused, which is always fun. And I thought, I really want to do this more often, especially the confusing other people part, because that's the funnest element, obviously. And then it sort of went on from there, sort of spiraled onward from there. So of course, you know, we're talking about these two have both crafted different things. If you just want to discuss what you have crafted before, how you sort of go, how you devise going about things in terms of crafting and all sorts. If you want to go first on that one.
The first thing I made was a bra top for Ariel, the Little Mermaid. I altered the bra and turned it purple and added all the shell bits. Then I quickly moved on and made Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy. No idea what I was doing. It looked really good though. I took reference images and just extrapolated onto a mannequin, and it worked. And then I made Blink from Days of Future Past in about 20 hours the week before the con. That was really fun. I was really high on glue. I've also made a few cosplays like this. This is Charlie for Supernatural. I bought most of it. I altered the top and got it specially made. And yeah, I sew a lot of things. I'm currently making Linkle from the new Nintendo game, which is all sewing. Yeah, it's really interesting.
So I have this thing, right? If it needs to be flexible and it's armor, you make it from foam. If it doesn't, you make it from warbler. There you go, best thing I'm ever going to tell you. Most of my cosplays are armor related because, yeah, I don't ever want to wear anything comfortable that I can sit down in. So yeah, go armor. I think my most popular cosplay is from my Vi from League of Legends, which involves big, giant, articulated hands, and lots of armor and lots of sewing, and yeah. And I made Caitlyn from League of Legends, which is the first proper thing I made 100% for myself. Like I made the hat from cardboard, and you know the gun was made from wood, and I was really impressed with it. And then about 2 years later, I was like, oh, I'm gonna actually make this better. So like I think I shortened the skirts for too long, and I remade the gun, and I sorted the hat out, and I remade the boots and stuff. Yeah, I mainly work with armor and some sort of sewing to some extent. Like I made a vault suit, and that was a pain in the ass.
I haven't really made, this is the amount of extension, you know, the extent of my skills is I altered a top and then ripped up some jeans and then tried to dye them with hair dye and it didn't go very well. It sort of bleached it a bit, but not quite, but it's fine. Because a lot of my skill set sort of isn't quite within craft, although I am starting to learn little bits and pieces, like getting to know, you know, how to pluck out seams and how the seams go together when doing this, and like very precise positioning of like the safety pins out of really terrible reference pictures. And I do have a massive fascination with warbler and Eva foam and stuff and wood, which my partner uses a lot of, so I'm trying to get him to teach me things at some point in the future. So obviously we were discussing, you know, how to create your own cosplay, how you would start from the beginning, where if you had like an idea, you think, oh, I want to cosplay, even if it's just something like Fry from Lilo and I want to from Futurama, goodness sake, or even if it was something like I want to be Sauron or something like that. So how would you start if you were going to make something yourself? Where would you start?
Reference images. Spend about 5 months finding reference images. No, seriously, you need to try and find every single image that you can possibly find that will help you make it. Shoes are really hard to come by, to find images for. Also the back of people. You get lots of images from the front, but very few from the back. For Marvel things, go for look at the hot toys. Once you know what you're making, start looking, if it's sewing, start looking for patterns that you would think can adjust to work for your needs. Try and think, yeah, there's this hoodie, let's go find a hoodie I already own and make a pattern from that, or let's go and buy a pattern and make it from that, or let's buy a hoodie and adjust it to how it needs to look. And yeah, sewing has a very simple process, but it can be very difficult. But yeah, just always know what your end goal is going to be and try and break down each part into different components so you know exactly what you've got left to do, and always multiply how long you think it's going to make by about 10 times and you should be able to get it finished on time, fingers crossed.
Another thing as well, if you're cosplaying something from a video game, normally, right, you can actually find the 3D models, especially for things like League of Legends and Smite. And I think for my Fallout 4 cosplay, I actually found a 3D model of a laser rifle. Literally the best thing ever. You can rotate it and be like, oh, that's how that bit looks. But yeah, definitely the backs of stuff is difficult, especially things in television programs I've noticed. Like Kylo Ren, finding how his cape works. I ended up just buying like 4 different toys and I was like, yeah. And then it was like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? Shit.
Yeah, I have a Star Wars cosplay coming up, and the Clone Wars TV show doesn't show much of her outfit very clearly, and then I found some toys which somebody did a proper that, hey, I've got this toy, I'm doing a review on it, and they put this toy in every single pose possible and show every single layer of its clothing, so you're like, actually this is really good, and you can see the textures that it's kind of meant to be, and it's not 100% accurate to what it may meant to be, but you get a really good starting point which can speed up the process quite fast.
And I imagine when it comes to, what do you do if you have looked around for every reference picture under the sun and you can't find any at the back or a certain part of it? What do you do at that point?
You sacrifice your soul to Satan, and that's basically how it works. I think when I was making an anime cosplay, I think it was Haruhi, but it was like her Lolita costume. I was like, right, there is nothing I can find from the back or anything like that, until I found out there was a figure right after I'd made it, and I was like, right, how do I think it would look? So I was like, okay, well this is how it fronts, so this is surely how it should connect to the back. You know, like I was probably going to have a bow on it, it's probably going to have ruffles, you know, it'll probably be like high-backed or low-backed and stuff. So if you can just kind of think how you think it might look, that'll normally go for it, because no one's going to go, oh my god, that's completely wrong, and you'll be like, oh cool, can you show me a reference picture, because I really need it. Like, it'll be one of those things that, as long as you think it looks good, then it will look good.
If it's, say, like a huge movie like Cinderella, or if it's programmed like Game of Thrones, they tend to do expositions on the outfits, and they display them at other Comic Cons, particularly in America. And then you get a lovely soul who goes, takes a really good camera and takes pictures of it from every single angle. And you're really good, because some lovely person has done that work for you.
And that's quite handy actually, because I actually went to the Cinderella exhibition when it was on last April, when it was on in London. And I went with someone who's actually a professional seamstress called Odd who is fantastic. We went down together and with one of her friends, and went around to all the different costumes and spent, I swear, like almost half an hour on every single costume, like taking reference pictures and having a look at the stitching, looking at the seams and all the rest of it. Particularly as I've commissioned her for the Cinderella dress. So, you know, looking at it, because you couldn't get too close to it, because obviously, for obvious reasons, they had it a bit of a distance to stop people vandalizing it. But you could get close enough with the camera and get a good picture and get a look of the colours, which are very different from in the movie. Looking at everything else, it's so valuable. It's actually wonderful. So have you just, obviously, you know, because people think, oh, you know, you need to get it perfect right away, and they don't realise actually a lot of times even the professionals make huge amounts of, you know, sort of mistakes. Would you like to just divulge any hilarious mistake stories?
So my vault suit, it has lots of lines sewn on it, and I realised that the back of it looked like a bloke's vault suit, so it made my butt look really weird. The female one is supposed to be a lot more complimenting, and I was like, well, I guess I'll sort that out. And I also realised I was missing a load of like lines as well. I only literally noticed this the other day. I was like, oh no. There's another thing I did as well. I'll go back to it.
Yeah. Well, with my Bling cosplay, she's got lots of bead patches on her top. And I was running out of time, and it's not really a mistake, but I had to pin the outfit together in order to wear it to MCM. It's still currently pinned at the moment, and it might get sewn together for a photo shoot I've got in a couple of weeks, but I'm not banking on it to be finished. I was wearing Gamora, I made the belt, and it just kind of disintegrated the second I walked out of the hotel. Duct tape, always carry a roll of duct tape, always carry safety pins. Super glue can be used, contact glue is good for props which can fall apart, just for quick fixes.
Actually was great for, in terms of glue. Tommy Walsh's DIY glue from I think it's Poundland or Poundland. It's literally one of the best glues in the universe. The amount of quick fixes we've had to do with that, and it saved the day, it's just uncountable.
I remember what it was. My Caitlin rifle used to have this magic where it would just sort of fall apart, because I didn't realise what contact adhesive was, so everything was stuck together with the hot glue. Turns out hot glue and wood, they don't like each other. But it's quite funny, because in the game, her gun actually falls apart, and mine did. And I was like, yeah, man, most angry cosplay ever, as it smashed in front of me. I was like, it's fine, I can fix this. I still haven't actually glued it back together yet. It's still in pieces.
One more thing, if something breaks or you damage it, it's battle damage. Always battle damage.
That's a very good way of putting it. It's just like, no, it's not broken, it's battle damage.